If you've been following my Bordeaux save, you will know that over the last couple of years, to try and make us a lot stronger, we have delved into the transfer market in South America and been extremely successful. Players such as this coming in for a little as 500,000. Our two strikers as well in the save are absolutely incredible. Look at this guy, Benjamin Brems. We brought him in for £6 million, which is quite a lot, but we had to meet. That was his release clause. I had to have him in because look at that. And he's still only 21 years old. His strike partner, in bad either, is he? Jean-Javier Tamara. Look at that. He's now worth £96 million. I wouldn't even sell him for that. We bought him for 2.5 million. There's also Danielson, a 21-year-old Colombian. We picked him up for 1.5 million pounds. Now, how am I picking these and some other ones up? I didn't even mention some of the squad fillers. I'm going to go through how to set it up pre-game because that is very important. If anything of this is useful, you want to ask any more questions, please put them down in the comments. We're also going to do a little, kind of not a live because this isn't going out live, but me working through scouting Croatia. We're going to build on that. It's a very old approach to how scouting kind of would be done. In the past, you used to have scouts scattered all over the world and they used to kind of just stay around, pay them like a fee, and they would stay in that country and scout and let you know of any recommendations. And I've kind of found that working in the recruitment focus has worked really well. So maybe a different way of doing it compared to how other people have done it. YouTube content creators, bloggers and stuff. I do it a little bit differently and it has worked incredibly well. All right, let's get into it. Smash a like on today's video. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing that you need to do is set your database up correctly so there is a decent pool of players in South America. So for me, I normally only select the league that I'm in. So let's say that we were doing a Spanish save. I would set up the league in Spain. And then you would go over here to your database. And then you go to advanced. And this is where you change everything. So if you're going to start scouting in particular parts of the world, you need to have this on. So this is what I've set up in my Bordeaux save. Go to continents and then put obviously large database, but then put players from top division clubs and players from top division clubs. That will mean that all of the clubs in the top divisions in all the leagues across Europe and South America will generate players. Their players will be already in the database to start with. So if you're wanting to sign someone who's already a bit of a wonder kid that we know about, say at River Plate or something like that, you can then go and get them immediately because the database will be bigger. Those teams as well will then create regens and new gens. If you don't do this, the number of pool of players will be a lot smaller, and chances are these little carrots that you get in South America, in particular Chile and Ecuador, places like that, will be a lot smaller. Obviously, then you'll be competing against maybe the bigger clubs and you might miss out. So that's the first thing. Set it up like this. Does it slow the game down? I don't think it does because, yes, it's got a little bit of processing power, but it's not processing fixtures and league tables and stuff. You're not putting the league in the game. You're just creating the players. All right, that is the first one. Okay, now we're in the game. Obviously, I'm into season 9 here. Now, this has been working for 3 summer transfer windows. We started in the summer of 2029. So we've had, we did it around May, June time. So we had a little bit of time in the summer transfer window. And then we've had it over 2 years. And those are the players that we've brought in. Obviously, then the issue that we've had with the Bordeaux save is that there's no money at all competing with the big clubs and we need to sell players to generate income. So at the moment, we're just starting to kick on a little bit in terms of the quality of players that we've been able to get. If it was a like-for-like version of these in Europe, we wouldn't be able to afford them. And then the thing is, eventually, they're going to want to go on to these super clubs and we'll make a huge profit. Now, first thing, to make it work, you need to have a good scouting range. When I first started this save, I was literally putting all the money I could into the scouting to make sure that all the free transfers that would become available, I could see. Because we were literally doing free transfers for the first 6 or 7 years because there was no money to spend. So improving that as much as you can. Improving the budget as much as you can. Making sure that you've got enough money to cover. Obviously, as you grow, like when we were in the 4th tier with Bordeaux, we were unable to do this. We were just in Europe and I was trying to get players from around Europe to come and join us in the 2nd and 3rd tier. So as you go, have this as more important than that, because once you've got this up, you'll get these bargains that you get in South America. So the next thing as well is just to improve your staff. Have as many scouts as you can. I'm going to show you though which scouts to get, and I will make that in particular very, very clear. And also your recruitment analyst as well. Keep asking. I've got to the point now where we've got 8 scouts. I've actually dropped it to 7 that I'm allowed, so I can't ask for any more at the moment. But I'm at a point now I would maybe appreciate some more recruitment analysts. just to make the scouting packages maybe come through a little bit quicker. I'm not entirely clear how important they are, but obviously your scouts are. Okay, so what I did was I cleared out my scouts, and then I focused on where I would want my scouts to be. So we talked about South America. We've got currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 recruitment focuses going. 6 of them in South America and 1 in France. That's just because we're signing all these foreigners. We're getting to the point now where I need to try and create a little bit of value in terms of getting French players in, and I'm trying to do this kind of realistically, where I'm not going through each club and searching for players. You could do that, and that's kind of a shitty way and a long drawn out way of doing it. So I'm relying on my scouts to come and hit me with players. And to be fair to my French scout, it's not been as successful, but he did recommend this guy to me, 18 years old. We bought him for £4.2 million from Auxerre. And looking at it, if we'd have looked at his statistics from last season, only signed for Auxerre 140,000 the season before, hadn't had a great season, so he wouldn't have been anything that would have popped up if I'd have really started looking through terms of like numbers, player statistics, look at his attributes. So I'm considering that as a really good win. He's a fickle though, but he is classed as a wonder kid. A volatile, fickle wonder kid who's also media friendly. Bit of a mixed bag, so we'll see how he develops during the save. What we've done is created these scouting recruitments, but we had to get the scouts in first. So if you look at Giles Okoto, he is a very good scout, number 1. And number 2, he's scouting in Ecuador. And as you can see, his scouting knowledge of Ecuador is extensive. What I'm trying to create here is not just a scout or a load of scouts going around South America. I'm trying to create a scout specifically for that country. So this is what happened in the early 90s. Man United had loads of contacts around the world. It still kind of happens a little bit in the game, but because of video technology and just general how scouting, a lot of scouting is done in terms of online, worldwide things to sort of like Y-Scout and StatsBomb and stuff like that. The old days of going to watch games isn't as common. However, I've tried to recreate that a little bit by having my scouts purely based in these countries and having these recruitment focuses, not just over a month, 2 months, summer transfer window. These are just ongoing. So they're constantly circling around the same clubs in the same divisions in the country that they're in and just constantly hitting me with scouting reports. So it's the same for them all. If we look at Eva Lealton, good scout, extensive, only in Brazil. Echeverria, Colombian scout, tremendous. Obviously, it helps out the same nation. Argentinian scout, Trillino, but he is my Chilean scout, not my Argentinian scout, because we've got Sigris there, look. Really good scout, formerly of Liverpool as well. And then Galloway to scout Uruguay. We've got a couple of options still free. We're going to work on Dario Simic. I said at the start of the video that we want to scout Croatia, so I brought him in to do that, and he's got an extensive knowledge of Croatia, so we're going to look at him going off and sitting in Croatia for me, see if he can bring up some wonder kids from there. And we've also got Javier Wena. I just brought him in because he follows me on Twitter. And he was formerly the scout at Roma until the end of last season. And we needed a chief scout. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with him yet. We may allow him just to go out and just make offers for young players, something like that. But yeah, there's Javier Wena. From that, how do we then go into the sort of like the staff search in particular and start picking up these coaches, these scouts? So what you need to do is, obviously, search scout. Obviously, they need to be interested in you. So you've got your wage budget. Try and ask for scouts. Try and build this up as you go. So I'm constantly asking for scouts. If you suddenly get into the top division and you've only got 2 scouts available and you ask for more, they're not then going to give you 8 scouts. They might give you 3. They might give you 4. So you constantly need to be asking for a bigger scouting budget, more scouts, more recruitment analysts. Constantly asking as you go. Right. So scout, add condition. Scouting, world knowledge. Just set it as very good for now. As they work there, their knowledge will improve anyway, but it gives you a really good base. It might open it out to more people as well. Let's go. Where do we want to scout? I tell you what, where I want to scout. Mexico. Okay. Press OK. Right. The knowledge isn't that great, but there is someone who's got 12 and 11, and I would consider that okay for now. They will still bring in, if he notices a wonder kid, he will bring in a wonder kid. Any numbers sort of like above 11 and 12 I would take for now. And as you can see, he's got a good scouting knowledge of a couple of the countries. Offer him a deal, get him in, and then that is your Mexican scout sorted, or your South, whatever country you want. From that, once they're in, this is the tricky bit. Okay, so this is where we set up our recruitment focus. So as you can see, we've got our recruitment focuses in right now. I'd always make sure that you are on top of this and you constantly track and look, because some are in progress and some, like this guy, Ivan Enrique, the player who's getting watched and studied by both of my scouting team and my analysis team, looks very good, right? 21 years old, 5'8". Yeah, really happy with that. Now, he is only in progress. He hasn't been recommended yet, but he's likely to get recommended because he does look pretty good. However, sometimes they will not end up, he might end up being a near match. He might end up being someone that, you know, is a 3.5 star instead of a 4 star potentially. So at this point, I would add him to shortlist straight away, just in case he then doesn't get recommended by some of these. I've set all the recruitment focuses up the same, but just something to be aware of. Just sometimes just have a look at the in-progress ones just to see what's going on. Brazil is a lot harder, I think, generally, because the value of the players is a lot more. You end up paying a little bit more than what you would for maybe a player in Ecuador, etc. These often go quiet as well, and all of a sudden they come back with some tremendous ones during the transfer windows, or still some in progress. Look, some are classed as D, but just have a little look, because there might be something you see in a player that your scout or your analyst doesn't see. Right, those are my current ones. So we've got the French one as well. Look, 5 in progress. We've got 1 recommendation. Love to have him in, but he's at PSG. We're just trying to hopefully grab a couple from maybe these French clubs to really help us with our sort of like European quota of French players. France is really good as well in terms of league rules. If you're just wanting to get players in, France is a really good country for just getting regens in. Portugal as well, getting players in from South America. There's no real sort of like league rules that stop you signing and getting in loads of players into your squad. So create recruitment focus. Here we go. First thing, any position from the tactic. That's what I always do. On here, we take off all, and I always name it just the country that I'm working in. Okay, so Croatia. Any role, good, leave all that blank. And this is where we do things. I always put transfer and loan. For minimum current ability, I always put that down to 1. Because then, or even half. Because if you're looking at signing players that are maybe 16, they've literally just come through. They maybe have a high potential, but are not nowhere near current ability level. So for now, I've just had it as 1. If you want to drop it a little bit lower, you can do, but I've always had it at 1. This one here, I always put to 4. Just so you get, the ones that they recommend will be of a really good quality. And as I said, you've always got that near misses and ones in progress that you can track as well. Age, left that blank. Areas, this is where you need to scout. It often tells you we should consider scouting here. We're already looking there, but that's the thing that it does. Go to the nation that you want. So we want Croatia. Press confirm. Here, ongoing. I'm already looking at replacing. So if you go top, this is where, like, if you lose a player, you immediately need to find someone quickly, and it'll put all the progress. If he's doing anything else, it will put that to the top of it. This is not the case. If I need to get someone quickly, I might ask my chief scout to do it. These guys are just based in the country, constantly circling, looking for players for me. So assign scout, untick that, and then you need to find your scout. So let's go Simic, press confirm. Same with your assigned analysis as well. This is currently changed because I've just signed 3 new analysts at the start of the season. I've not changed it up yet, so I'll need to go through that and help. Basically, if you don't do it, it's not as if the analyst won't do this. This basically means that you assign any analyst, so you could leave that completely blank, and it would allow them to do it. The main thing is that you have the correct scout. You don't want that ticked because it might send Simic to South America. FM doesn't work as perfectly as normally as what it should. And if you want to do it this set way, you need to follow it. So make sure that's unticked, click your scout. And then for analysts, just make sure you've got enough. Said the more focuses you have, the better. Okay? Press confirm and you're good to go. That's it. And he will be off into the sunset. He's already brought one up for me straight away. Look, here we go. A star. This is, by the way, this is real time. Oh my life. Look at him. £2.7 million, 20 years old. Has he got a release clause 2.7? Yes, he has. There you go. Deep line playmaker. 14 tackling, 18 technique, 15 passing, 15 marking. So he can absolutely do it all. Now, this is absolutely key for me because our tactic right now, we have a defensive, not a deep line playmaker on defend. I'm wanting to be creatively very good, but he also needs to be with our 2 wing backs on attack. We've got a Mazzala, we've got an AP in front. He's not going to get much. So he needs to be good defensively. At the moment, we've got Erik Boomen in, who is pretty good, 12 marking, tackling 14, so not as good defensively, but he is 29 and he's worth a lot of money. So it either is we get a long-term replacement in for Erik Boomen, stays as a backup and then gradually phase him out, or once we get the new guy in and he's at a level where he's good enough, we sell him and make a lot of money because he was one of our free transfers a couple of years ago. So immediately he's come up with a tremendous recommendation as Dario Simic. He has done me a good one there. 5-star potential, 2.7 million. I don't think I've got any in the bank. Nothing in the bank at the moment. We can make that happen. We can soon sell a player to get money in and make that work. Not all the players will be absolutely brilliant. Like, good places to also scout is Bulgaria. So sort of like so in and around you, maybe Eastern European countries. Look at this guy, Borislav Zhozhiev. He's my left wing back, 21 years old. So he's 20 when we signed him. 4.1 million from Ludogorets from Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is often a good place to go. Obviously, if you want to really make it like a wonder kid factory, you just get scouts in all the nations that you possibly can. I'm not sure what FM gives us an ultimate scouting total in terms of scouts. So PSG have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So theirs is not massive, but I know you can go into sort of like the team numbers and stuff. They can see we're in 4th. Follow the series. It's a good bloody series. I'm really enjoying it. We've started in 4th tier. This has now helped us financially because even though we've not got much money now, it's enabled us to be, let's have a look, not much money now, we're in debt, but we are now in Europe and we've managed to break that barrier and really becoming one of the bigger clubs in the division. And at the same time as well, we've got now the potential to sell players on. Most of them ask for sell-on value. Just make sure if it's a little bit lower than what you'd hope. So Benjamin Brenz, in particular, had a 44 million release deal. He's now on a lot of money. We've signed him into a new deal, but that was to make sure we got that up to 92. So big clubs did start sniffing around, so we offered him a new deal and got him to sign a new deal. So if he does go, we're going to make over £80 million on him. But I'm hoping now him and Tamara, my Colombian wonder kid, are going to be the transformation. The save don't finish until we win Liga. So I'm hoping over the next 2 or 3 seasons, we're going to do it thanks to this South American scouting. It's the best thing to do if you love your wonder kids, go in South America. It's amazing. Rather than just clicking through the leagues, have a little bit of realistic feel to it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Check out the Bordeaux series. Go and watch it from the start and see how we have grown from 4th tier to European, not contenders, but we're in the shout. And, 2 or 3 years, we may be champions of Liga again. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See you later.